Thursday. It is Jennifer Johnson. Jennifer to the rescue. Most people don't even know my last name around here. Radio Next, Cool Groove, radionext.tv. Happy to be back on. Man, these weeks just fly by. I don't know where they're. And we have 2 hours of really exciting, fun stuff going on here. I guess I better promote our Sunday jazz thing at Barria. Maybe, yeah, good idea. I think it would be good. You know what? I actually can't be there, but this is great. 96th Street, what is it? 3855 East 96th Street. This Sunday, 5 to 9, George Middleton, one of our very own from Radio Next. So he's going to be out there, and he is awesome. Speaking of awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. It doesn't stay quiet when Renee walks in the door. This is my co-host here is Renee Gates. She hasn't even sat down yet. She's running in the door. She looks pretty every day, though. It's Renee Gates with Elite Coordinators. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And, we have some wonderful guests in the house, too. I'm waiting for... Is it on? Say something.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. Hello. All right. Well, I wish they could see you. You look pretty every time you walk in the door.
I like your green. Matches your eyes.
Did I wear green today?
Yes.
I don't know. I got going so fast.
That's my favorite color.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's cool. I learned a new thing. Okay. And we have our guests.
Hello.
Hello. Before I get too carried away, let me make sure I've got our guests correct.
Yes. That's
okay.
important.
We have Teresa Smith, Doctor of Audiology with Hoosier Hear Gear.
Awesome.
Hello.
Yeah, it's great being here.
I'm reading it right off your business card because I get so carried away with all this. I have so much fun. And, we're glad you're here. This is pretty cool. And you're going to tell us all about Hoosier Hear Gear.
Yes, thanks, Jennifer, for having us today. We appreciate your interest in the needs of the hearing impaired community and the opportunity to share with you and your listening audience today.
Wow, she did good. I wrote that down for her earlier.
That was a script.
I'm just kidding. We're just glad you're here. It's really exciting. You know what? I met Teresa a while back. She actually was at a networking group, which I do. She was a sub for one of our, and what she does is really interesting. We actually got together and there's so many messages out there, so many things people need to know about. So I'm so glad you came today because we're going to hear all about Hoosier Hear Gear.
Yeah, we're in an audio format today, so I don't know if we're reaching our target audience well or not without
that is
the visuals,
kind of funny.
without the visual aids, but we'll give it our best shot.
I hadn't thought about that. Interesting. Interesting. And Carol is here. Carol Coots is here with us. And Carol, actually, if I don't know, her business is Medical Bill Rescue. And it's her little tagline says, "Is that really what you owe?"
Oh, nice.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Actually, I've known Carol for a long time, kind of through the grapevine, through a series of people.
I think my mother used you guys. Maybe. I got to see what, But I think she did.
I've known Carol. You've been doing that a long time, haven't you?
I've been in this area over 20 years.
Yeah.
So.
Have you been doing that? Because I know you have something else you do, too, and you'll be able to share it, right? Are you still? Okay.
Yes.
So it's possible?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I really do.
Huh. Cool.
Saved her a bunch of money.
Well, that's exactly why we brought Carol in, and that's why we... Teresa, I was sitting here thinking, though, I want to make sure I say this. Even when they're hearing impaired, there are ways for the hearing impaired to hear something like this, right? Is that the wrong word?
Oh, yes. Definitely.
That's what she said.
Definitely.
Right. That's exactly. No, you know what? I think about it. We have a gentleman on Radio Next who has a I'm sorry. He has a radio program on Tuesday evenings. His name is Lee Martin, and his show is called See What I'm Saying. And I was having this conversation with him the other day. A wonderful man who was on my show a few weeks ago. Told his whole story. I don't think you were here, Renee, but wonderful story. But he's visually impaired, obviously. Had vision until he was 50. Then lost his sight. Had to learn how to do all these things over again. But he was kind of laughing at me because I was saying, I was trying to imagine how he gets emails. I mean, he's got a computer that does it. So I'm wondering, in that computer, if they had something like that for the hearing impaired, is there something?
Yeah, they can convert the audio signal to text. Yeah.
So you might have people that were hearing impaired might be listening today, and we'd be getting it converted to text, right?
Not sure.
Possible. Okay, I just thought that was kind of interesting. I thought I'd bring that up. Really quick, though, Renee, what's going on with you?
What's going on with me?
You've been here quite a few weeks. Last week you were at the, she's my co-host.
I was at the bridal show at the Fisher's Banquet Center.
It was very nice because we stopped by there. It was very nice.
Very nice. I'm not sure how many people, maybe almost 200 people or 200 brides came through, so it was a very good show. What am I doing? Updating my websites.
Elite Coordinators.
Yep, Elite Coordinators.
Okay.
Inc.com.
Inc. Okay.
Yes.
Well, and it's really, you know what, Renee, we'll let you tell later a little bit more about what Elite. So these ladies know more about what you do. But Teresa, tell us about Teresa?
Well, I'm an audiologist. I think that's probably the main reason we're here today.
Is there a definition of audiologist? What is audiologist?
Audiologists are trained to evaluate and treat hearing loss in a non-medical way. So,
really?
An ear, nose, and throat physician is an MD. They can prescribe medication, provide surgery, provide medical treatment for hearing loss, but audiologists specialize in the non-medical treatment of hearing loss.
I guess I should have. I didn't realize that there was the because after your name on your card, it is the AU.D. I thought I was just audiologist doctor or something.
Yes.
But it's non-medical.
Yes, non-medical, meaning hearing aids are a non-medical form of treatment. And because of that, they're often not covered by third-party payers.
Oh, interesting. Because I pulled off the information about you. You have a doctoral degree, right? So it is
a clinical doctorate.
Okay, so I'm not.
Yeah.
So that means that you're not medical, but you're okay.
Well, no, clinical doctor just is different than a medical doctorate degree like a physician has, or a doctor of philosophy PhD degree. Clinical doctorate degree is available in other professions. Could be, for instance, the PharmD degree that the pharmacist has, or an optometry has a clinical doctorate. So they're often in allied health professions. Even physical therapists today that are entering the physical therapy field have a clinical doctorate degree. So they're providing medical services, typically perceived as an allied health professional, to distinguish them from our friends that are physicians.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And she must have gone to school for years and years and years. Before we take a short break, I'll just tell you, she has the doctoral degree, and then she has a master's degree in communication disorders, and then she has an additional bachelor's degree in speech and hearing services from Indiana University. There were some other universities in there too, but I'm like, man, oh man.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And I had a meeting with her a couple weeks ago. She probably thought, man, she's probably way up here, and I'm just joking. No. We're going to take a short break, come back and hear more about Who's Your Hear Gear.
Sounds
Carol,
great.
You're staying around, right?
Yes.
You're not leaving. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And Renee, you're okay. Good. We'll see you all, and we'll see you. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be right. Sophisticated lover.
so it seemed. I went around broken hearted, thinking life wasn't.
It's that time again. We're back from break, and this is Jennifer Johnson, Jennifer to the rescue, and I'm here at Radio Next, and you have reached, or you found us on the Cool Groove stream. And Renee, are you still around?
Yes, I am.
Renee, are you posting pictures? And she's going to. You ladies that are in the house, you didn't know that you were going to get your pictures taken, did you? She does selfies. I know you're both on Facebook. I know you are. You're both on Facebook because, well, at least Hoosier Hair Gear I know is.
Okay.
And I think Medical Bill and Carol Coots, yeah, I think you're both.
Personally, I'm on there, and I also have one under the practical cost reduction.
Oh, see, that's the other business she has to tell us about when we get, okay. I know.
It's going to be an awesome show.
Well, I think it is because these people are so darn smart. And it's like, man, I'll just sit here and listen. I don't know about this. We were talking, we'll continue talking to Teresa Smith with Hoosier Hair Gear. And you know what? How did you end up? I mean, are you from Indiana originally?
Yes.
Did you already say that?
We didn't talk about that, Jennifer, but yes.
I only have so much power in this brain to retain.
I know.
But so you've always been in Indiana, and Hoosier Hair Gear is only a few years old.
Yes, it's a new practice we started last year in June 2013. And the name, as you might expect, Hoosier. If you ask me to define myself, that might be where I start.
I guess you can use Hoosier since you've lived here for.
I certainly identify with being a Hoosier. Of course, I was an undergraduate at Indiana University, and I remember one time I read an article in their alumni magazine, "What is a Hoosier?" And I know that conversation occurs frequently and has historically occurred, but Hoosiers do have certain values, Midwestern values. And they certainly identify with the traditions that are in Indiana, and I love all of those things. Now, I may not sound like I'm from the Midwest, but I am a Hoosier, a Southern Hoosier. I grew up in a small, quaint town there on the banks of the Ohio called Leavenworth. It's about 40 miles west of Louisville and 80 miles east of Evansville. And so I don't know if Southern Hoosiers identify more, but we certainly take a lot of pride and identify with our communities. And so being an alum of IU, definitely identify with that as well. Hair Gear, we chose that name for the alliteration, and as a musician, you might appreciate that.
I have to look up definition of alliteration. I'm just kidding.
But,
go ahead. Yeah, that's a good.
Our practice is not focused simply on hearing aids and hearing tests like some private audiology practices are. We like to focus on all things related to hearing, including hearing protection and induction loop systems, which make public venues accessible to the hearing impaired. So if we had to classify all those things, we just call it Hair Gear. And that's how we came up with the name Hoosier Hair Gear.
It's definitely a great name. And we were talking before the show that I went on the website. And like I said, Teresa and I met a couple months ago. And then we got together just to kind of do a one-to-one so I'd understand better. Because she talks about looping. And it's like, looping? What's looping? But you get on the website and she'll tell us about looping. I know she will. So we got on the website I got on the website and realized you do. On your website, you do hearing tests, hearing aids, hearing protection, and then hearing or looping. And I was kind of, we were talking about the hearing protection, and you use the Ben Franklin quote that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it's, boy, isn't that true? How do you do that, though? Are you, involved in, is to protect, you'd have to get people really young, because hearing, listen to, I mean, look at all the music we're listening to and the loud everything. So what I see on your website, you do have a lot of hearing protection. Do you, I mean, I'm sure they all have names and people could actually go to Hoosier Hear Gear, right? It's HoosierHearGear.com.
Yes.
They could actually see this page. Go ahead,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You could get some visual aids if you go to our website page there of different types of hearing protection. Early in my career, when I was employed at Memorial Hospital in Jasper, Indiana, I became very involved with a segment of our profession known as industrial audiology or hearing conservation. Jasper likes to pride itself as the wood capital of the world, and they have several furniture factories there, a lot of manufacturing in that city for the size that it is, and a large employer probably reaches 8 to 9 counties in terms of employers there in Jasper, Indiana. And OSHA regulates the work industry for safety, and part of my job there was going into those factories and doing annual hearing tests and conservation with the employees, and then compiling reports for them that would meet OSHA regulations and doing follow-up if hearing loss was identified that was related to their work. So hearing protection and hearing conservation is very important part of our industry. Not a lot of focus on it, but it's true. You've got to reach people when they're young. OSHA wasn't mandating regulations in the early 60s and 70s, so often I would encounter employees that had worked there for several years, and a hearing loss was established, and then they would implement a hearing conservation program, and then you would see that the hearing loss stabilized or plateaued, and further loss was prevented. Today, though, there are lots of statistics, as you allude to, young people like iPods and MP3 players and loud stereos, and they spend a lot of time with earbuds in their ears. And the projections are that we're going to continue to see preventable hearing loss. Hearing loss due to noise exposure is 100% preventable, and it doesn't have to occur. But that's a message that we try to advocate for. Last year in October, I attended some training in Minneapolis, and I'm a certified dangerous decibels educator.
Really?
But
there is such a thing?
There is such a thing.
Interesting.
And it's a great program. It's about a 45, 50-minute program designed for the classroom to go in and educate children about how does hearing work, how does the ear work, how does noise damage the ear, what types of noises are harmful, how loud does that sound have to be, and what can they do to prevent it. It's a great program, and we love opportunities to come out and talk to kids. It doesn't have to be the classroom, though. It could be any type of youth group, 4-H,
oh my goodness, the
Girl
wheels.
Scouts.
Oh, right. You're a Girl Scout.
Yeah, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. Those are great groups to talk to and share this program. I have a friend that comes with me, Homer. He's our official mascot, and we can put an earbud in his ear and measure how loud your iPod is, and you can listen to your favorite song. And I said, you got to turn that down a little bit.
If this was a television show, I'd be up dancing around because I'm so excited because that's what I was going to ask you. Do you do like programs for kids and stuff? Now you're probably very happy that I'm not up dancing around. So it's good to think because I could be singing or screaming. That wouldn't be good for your ears. So I know, but you know what? That is really cool. So you are and tell me again, what is the name of that? You're
It's
a decibel?
Dangerous Decibels certified educator.
Dangerous Decibels certified. Isn't that cool?
Now, can you detect hearing loss in babies? Do you have hear gear for babies or infants?
Yes. I did work when I was an employee at the hospital with newborn screenings and newborn follow-up testing. We're not currently doing that at our practice, but it's a very important program, and identifying hearing loss early allows us to treat hearing loss earlier, and that the outcomes for speech development and cognitive development and occupational capacity to earn income. The earlier that intervention occurs, the better outcomes we can achieve. And it's very important. And, Indiana has been screening newborns, all newborns, since the year 2000, and has legislation for mandatory follow-up and treatment.
I just have never met anybody that was so educated on her. I'm so
She's
glad.
She's supposed to be.
I know, but I guess I do so much networking that I meet people and they say they're something. I'm not saying they aren't, but I don't spend time when I get to do this show. And I get to have wonderful people like her and like Carol, because I know Carol's been doing what she's doing. It's so exciting to hear that you really...
Jennifer, audiologists are great at their jobs.
Well,
they're
you're
often just not out there advocating.
Unsurpassed service with near perfect recall. Client appreciation that's honest and true. These are the things I can offer to you. For your family, for your future, for your peace of mind.
And we are back. Jennifer to the rescue. RadioNext.tv Cool Group. And before we get back to our host today, we want to remind you that MedWise and Raphael Healthcare Center is presenting a Fit for School Back to School Health Fair. It will take place Monday, August 11th through Friday, August 15th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. That's right, each day. So we've got 5 days worth of free physicals, echocardiograms, immunizations, vision testing, cholesterol testing, blood pressure testing, and they even have free school uniforms. And they also have the health insurance enrollment for Hoosier Healthwise and the Healthy Indiana Plan. All of this for free all week long, Monday, August 11th through August 15th. That is 401 East 34th Street, Raphael Health Center. If you want to give them a call and make some, find out some things or make some arrangements, they bring your young people in, give a call at 317-926-1507. And also, we want to remind you of the great events taking place at Bar Rio Taco and Tequila Bar. That is 3855 East 96th Street in Indianapolis. Sunday, we have the Cool Groove Jazz Affair with Mr. George Middleton performing. Doors open at 5. Performance will start right at 6 o'clock. You'll be out of there by 9. And then on Monday, we present Margarita Mondays in karaoke. And we're going to have a $100 gift prize, $4 margaritas every Monday night. And Twisted Taco Tuesday featuring Kenny Hartman Skelton giving you the best in blues this Tuesday. And we're going to have all types of entertainment every Tuesday night. That is Bar Rio Taco and Tequila Bar, 3855 East 96th. And now back to your host, Jennifer Johnson.
Wow, that was pretty awesome. All that stuff's going on. That's pretty amazing. That was pretty cool. I'm just sitting here thinking,
It's
wow.
either free or cheap.
Yes. Inexpensive is the best. That is good. Well, yeah. And I was sitting here. Did you hear that song that started at the? Yeah, that was me. I haven't heard that ever. So that was pretty. Well, that's kind of my little motto thing. My little whatever. Jennifer Johnson, Jennifer to the rescue here on the Radio Next on the Cool Groove. I do call myself a lyrical appreciation expert, and I keep forgetting to say that. And what do? You ask me for my 60-second elevator speech for the whole listening audience. I help you connect and celebrate those special people and relationships in your personal and business lives with a number of tools. That's it. That's actually 30 seconds.
I really like that.
Oh, thank you. That's Renee over there. You're elite. No, you are Renee Gates, but you're with Elite Coordinators. Can you give us a definition? Not definition. What does Elite Coordinator do?
We are full and day of wedding planners or event planners. We coordinate all life's events.
I was going to say, that's your little tagline.
Yes.
You coordinate all of
life's events.
Yeah. See, she knew it. I didn't. So you've just been really busy, but today's kind of quiet.
Yes, today's kind of quiet. Just getting ready for a couple of weddings that are around the corner and making some connections, networking.
Like we all are, yeah.
Meetings, lunches, and just getting ready for 2015. So we're always in the wedding where we're always working a year ahead, so.
Well, I think we'd all agree the older we get, the faster it goes, and it's like, okay, it's the middle of 2014, but it really is time to...
No, it's really 2015 for us.
Yeah. Well, I think most of us would say we're already kind of there.
Right.
This year has just flown by.
Yeah, it's almost
Unbelievable. Christmas in July, which I have been doing some singing of Christmas.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, can I just say really quick, if anybody really wants to hear what I sound like, you can come out to the Carmel Farmers Market this week.
Nice.
Yeah, this weekend. It's on Saturday. Even if it rains, I think they have a backup plan.
Okay.
So, but I've been singing forever, and it just happens that Carmel Farmers Market, I think I've been doing for 15 years
What
or
time?
something. Well, the music usually goes like from 8 to noon.
Okay.
Or 8 to 11:30. Whatever. If you've never been to the Carmel Farmers
It's very
Market,
nice.
you need to go to the Carmel Farmers Market. I do a lot of farmers markets, so that's it. But it's a wonderful time, and the people there are great. And
Who will be playing for you? Are you just singing?
I sing. I have a keyboard player who's
Okay.
wonderful, and I worked with him for a lot of years, and we just have a good time. The Carmel Market is always great. The people who come, it's right in the shadow of the Palladium, if you kind of know where that
absolutely.
is. So anyway, just thought I'd plug that, and we're here with our guests.
Well, that's good to know, because I didn't know.
Yes, well, and as of August 1, you'll be able to go to, and that'll be after my Carmel Farmers Market, but my website, jennifertotherescue.com, will have everything on it. It'll have
so you have
events,
the
it'll have all,
page.
yeah. So lots of things are happening for us, too, but we're here with our guests. They're starting to zone out, I think. I've put them asleep. Oh, no. But we are here with Carol Coots, who's sitting very nice and patiently with Medical Bill Rescue. And she's actually, it's really neat to have her here because she keeps making comments about things that, just are like, wow. So we're looking forward to talking a little more with her. Carol, are you still here?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Okay. And you know what? Don't let us forget that you wrote a book, Carol, so we need to make sure that we bring that up. I know she brought it, so we can do that. But that's a little ways away, just a little bit. We're still talking with Teresa, though.
Hello.
Hello. And Teresa, you are an audiologist, doctor of audiology with Hoosier Hear Gear. You know what? Where is your store?
Our store is on the southeast side of Indianapolis, 5 minutes from 465 in New Palestine.
Okay, so if you go to HoosierHearGear.com, you would actually be able to find the address on there.
That's correct.
And that's good.
And a Google map.
And a Google map. That's cool. And you know what? If they wanted to email you, it would be... some people spell Teresa with an H. That's why I'm just saying Dr. Or it's DRTERESA.
That's correct.
Okay. At Hoosier Hear Gear. I just think that's cool.
It's very cool, just like this program.
She's having too much fun, I can tell. But, we were talking about the different things. We were talking about prevention. You do hearing tests. The prevention thing, I think, is really cool because you do that. You said, what is the dangerous decibel educator, certified educator. So you go out and do programs for brownies, or
Yes. Yeah.
I think that would
It's
be really
tremendous amount of fun.
I'm so glad you do that. I think that's awesome. Okay, we talked about protection, hearing aids, tests, looping. Can we talk about looping?
Let's talk about looping.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds kind of looping. What is looping when it comes to hearing?
Well, induction loop systems, also known as loop systems, are to make public venues accessible to the hearing impaired. And, for the past 20 years, I've seen a lot of technological improvements in the quality of hearing aids, but the number one complaint of hearing aid users remains, I have trouble with background noise. I have trouble in a restaurant. I have trouble at church. I have trouble basically in a public place where there's competing noise. And so there's a great need to make public venues accessible to the hearing impaired. Now, there are laws to promote that. The American Disabilities Act recognizes hearing loss as a disability that needs proper accessibility in public places. But a lot of businesses just really haven't stepped up and done the things that they need to do to comply with those 2010 changes that occurred.
How would they do that, though?
Well, there are different ways to make your facility accessible, but in general, loop systems are one type of strategy to meet that need. There are also FM systems and infrared systems, and those you will find in theaters. You may even find those in churches here in central Indiana. Induction loop systems is a technology that's been around, but it's just starting to catch on. I became acquainted with induction loop systems 5 years ago when I heard an audiologist in Michigan speak about that. It was Peg Simon, and her husband Terry Simon is an engineer, and they got involved with loop systems to complement what they were doing in their audiology practice with their hearing aid patients. There was a psychology professor at Hope College by the name of David Myers. He's probably the most well-known individual advocating for loop systems. But when he was vacationing in Europe, he became acquainted with loop systems there. And they're very, very common and have been common for the last 30 years all over Europe, particularly Northern Europe. So he was visiting the Abbey, I think it's the Iona Abbey in Scotland, listening to a presentation there. A beautiful historic place, very cavernous, lots of reverberation, not so great for acoustics, especially for the hearing impaired. And he saw a sign, or his wife saw a sign posted on the wall that is the universal symbol that a assistive listening system is installed there. So it's just a simple sign with an ear on it and a capital T. And that capital T stands for telecoil. And I'll talk a little bit more about telecoil here in a few minutes. But she kept elbowing him and nudging him, pointing to the sign. And when he saw the sign, he recognized that he should switch his hearing aid to the telecoil program, and immediately he had an aha moment and could hear the program being presented clearly. So, the hearing impaired will say, I can hear you, I just can't understand you. They will say that, before they get hearing aids. I don't have a hearing problem. People mumble. I don't have a hearing problem. I just can't understand. And hearing aids often clarify sound, make it easier for them to understand. But when you go to public places, hearing aids are not often enough in those types of environments. And so assistive listening systems help the hearing impaired to receive an audio signal just like they're hardwired to it. What I like about induction loop systems is that it works with telecoils and hearing aids. And today, about 2/3 of all hearing aids dispensed have telecoils built in. There's no extra equipment. And if you have a telecoil built in and you're in an induction loop system, you can receive that audio signal wirelessly. You don't have to use a headset or any extra equipment. When you're in the venue that is looped, you can pick up that audio signal. And it's a tremendous advantage because when people have difficulty hearing in public places, they withdraw. They don't go. And there are all kinds of implications when we withdraw socially and we're not interacting and we're not leading an active lifestyle. Often leads to depression, and even there are studies being done now at Johns Hopkins about cognitive decline and the relationship between untreated hearing loss and, your increased risk for dementia or Alzheimer's. So lots and lots of links to other parts of our life and lifestyle if hearing loss is not treated. But telecoils make hearing aids will work well. You can use headsets in an induction loop system, but if the hearing aid has a telecoil, no extra equipment is needed. And the great thing is, if you're trying to reach the masses, if you're trying to reach large numbers of people, it's the most efficient way. And if you're trying to reach that individual that can't afford the most expensive hearing aids, that's a very cost-effective way, because even low-income hearing aids often have the telecoils built in. And so public places need to step up and make
client appreciation that's honest and true. These are the things I can offer to you. For your family, for your future, for your peace of mind. I'm the one that you call on when things all go bust. Jennifer to the rescue, you can trust. God gave the wise men their wisdom, and to the poet.
Yes, that is Jennifer to the rescue that you're hearing sing the medley. That's right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we had real claps that time, though. Renee and I, oh, there it is. We've had this big crowd this last couple of weeks that have been clapping.
Live audience.
It's been, now we really have a live audience.
Yeah.
So the last couple shows, our place has been full. Radio Next has just been hopping. So the word's getting out. Just keep telling everybody, Renee, posting those selfies, and and we are having a lot of fun. I'm here with Renee Gates.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe I just have fun. You guys are laughing at me. It is fun here, isn't it? Everybody laughs at me. That's what I want. I want you to walk away and say, man, I got to spend some more time with her.
Jennifer's fun.
She is fun. Radio Next is fun. Cool Groove is fun. And my guests are always fun. They're also really smart today, too.
Yep.
We got Teresa Smith. She's shaking her head. Do you know how much information you gave us in that last...
Interesting
I know.
This is wonderful.
Isn't it cool?
That's
Yes.
part of connecting people, knowing
That's
about their
what-
business.
My little
in depth.
60-second thing is, yes, or 35-second, whatever it is, is just saying I want to connect people. That's I've been really fortunate in my business and my life to meet really great people.
Yep.
And when I meet them, and then they agree to come on my show,
She can share them with everyone.
how cool is that? So we're here with Teresa Smith of Who's Your Here Gear. And Carol is actually getting ready. She's warming up her vocal cords.
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to be talking. But Teresa, you were going to kind of go into for a few minutes, I think. Just kind of a little more, maybe expense?
I think
looping?
it's important to understand the multiple applications
Exactly.
for induction loop systems. I think traditionally it's easy to think of churches. Churches are places that should and could be looped, but meeting spaces in hotels, classrooms are also great applications for induction loop systems. In Michigan, where Dr. Myers is, most of those classrooms in those small universities have been looped. The churches have been looped. The State House in Lansing has been looped. The Grand Rapids Airport has been looped.
Wow.
So when people hear final boarding call for flight 732, those
What'd you
individuals can get that message directly in their hearing aid, and they don't have to look at the visual screen like I do to see if their flight's on time or changed gates. Countertops in pharmacies are great applications for loops, small loops, or in banks where the teller waits on the customer. Those facilities should be looped. So multiple applications. In New York City, the taxi cabs have been looped. The subway stations are being looped, and so often we think of those big meeting places like theaters, auditoriums and churches, but there are multiple applications. We've been having conversations with senior living centers about the applications for loop systems there, whether it's in the individual residence rooms or apartments or the community room or even a treatment room, a therapy room where the therapist may have difficulty working with that individual. There are loop strategies for those situations. There are portable loop systems so that if a group is playing euchre and there are several euchre groups in a room, that individual table can hear the conversation there and not necessarily the conversation going on at the card table behind them or on the other side. So multiple applications. And so pricing for induction loop systems is really all over the board. Depends on if you're trying to loop a family room TV, that's going to be a couple $100.
Okay.
But if you're going to large commercial facilities, it's going to depend on the square footage, and it's going to depend upon the loop driver that's attached to the audio signal, whether that's the PA system or other type of media. A professional loop driver is what's going to drive your cost up. But that's where we've seen the most improvement in technology in the last 5 years, is those loop drivers are getting better and better and delivering better sound quality. If you're working with someone to install a system, make sure that they verify that that system's been installed to meet IEC standards. So lots and lots of technical things.
So the good thing to take away from everything is to know that Teresa Smith at Who's Your Hear Gear is the person you need to call and talk to about all these different things. I mean,
Let's get connected.
That's a great thing to do. And it is, why don't you just give them your email? But it is who'syourheargear.com. And what is your email again? Because I got it all. My tongue's all tied up a few minutes ago.
If you go to our website, www.who'syourheargear.com, there's a contact page there.
Good. That would be the best. Yeah.
Or you can email me directly at Dr. Teresa, Teresa, at who'syourheargear.com, or leave us a voicemail message if that's the media you prefer, 317-620-1897.
And I would just, go ahead, Renee.
I was going to ask, does everyone know sign language? Do you know sign
Everyone
language?
does not know sign language. And there are more than one type of sign language. There's American Sign Language and there's English Sign Language. And so we think of sign language as being universal, and it's a great medium. And I love to see music performed with sign language.
Yeah.
It's not everyone knows it, and often people learn it because there's a personal need, a connection to a family member that they need to communicate with.
That's a good question. But we're going to forget Carol, and I don't want to forget Carol. Because we could sit here. We'll have to have people come back. They'll just have to come back. It's great. And I was going to say, if you went to Jennifer to the Rescue and you just put on your contact, who is that Dr. Teresa? With Who's Your Hear Gear, I'll make sure you get connected. But get connected, yes, get connected. If you've got questions, a lot of people don't even want to admit they have hearing issues. And you know what, Carol? They probably don't want to admit that they have medical bill issues either, right?
No, they don't.
But there are a lot of people out there that have problems, don't they?
The majority of people do not understand if they have insurance or if they have Medicare or even what Medicaid, what you can be billed for. They do not understand that.
And it's good to have some. That's what you do.
That's what I do as an advocate.
And it's called medicalbillrescue.com, isn't it? I did pull it up. We were talking about the hearing stuff, and we were saying that a lot of times insurance doesn't pay. But you were saying
there are discount programs out there. If you have, for example, a third-party insurance, that could be your Anthems, your Aetnas, your
I thought you were going to say your Aunt Emily or something. Now, I have a sister, Emily, but I don't think she'd pay my children's insurance. I'm just joking.
It's okay.
Just joking, Carol. Go ahead.
Well, they have a lot of connections to give discounts. But if you don't even have an insurance, look online. Say, for example, on Google, do a search for hearing aid discounts. You can find all different programs out there, and many of them are free.
So, okay. So, what is... Okay, tell us who Carol Coots is. And it's spelled Coots, and that is how you pronounce it, right?
Yes.
It's an interesting last name. But tell us who you are. Are you from Indiana originally?
I'm originally from Tennessee.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So how did you end up here?
My husband at the time got transferred. He works for the VA hospital and got transferred to Indiana.
Okay.
Over 23 years ago.
23. Boy, we've got a lot of people with a lot of experience. A lot of we all look like we're 15. No, I don't want to look like I'm 15. Okay, Carol. So how did you end up doing what you're doing? Because it's medical bill rescue.
My background is actually I have a degree in biology and emphasis in genetics. I actually went to school for genetics. There just wasn't a lot of jobs I wanted to do with the counseling, so it was like, what else can I do? Didn't want to be a doctor, didn't want to be a nurse, but I knew I wanted to stay in the medical area. So I started getting into the coding and the billing area. And then when my mom years ago developed cancer and she died from it, beforehand, she just had all these questions. She went from having Prudential insurance to having Medicare and didn't understand, well, why can't I have a home health care nurse like I need? So that really brought up the questions. If she didn't understand, how many other people out there just do not understand insurance or your Medicare or your Medicaid? So that's how the whole process got started. It was helping my mom, helping friends, helping family, helping coworkers. And everybody kept telling me, you need to start a business to do that. Because people just don't understand what's going on today with all the changes. And it's coming up soon. There's some massive changes coming along.
Another?
Oh,
I mean, they've been doing changes now with the last couple of years. But
this is all with the diagnosis codes. It's going to more than quadruple the number of diagnosis codes providers have to use. And that's going to cause a lot of issues with bills being paid.
Oh, this is great. So that's how we have Carol Coots with Medical Bill Rescue. We can call you or look you up on I pull things off. You're called a cost-saving consultant. That's a great name. Mm-hmm. That's a great thing. I'd love to call to somebody who's got a cost. We met a number of years ago, so I knew you were really busy then. So obviously, this has really taken off for you.
Well, the main thing I do is I audit claims for fraud and abuse. So I work with Medicare, I work with Medicaid, different states. I work with your Anthems and your Aetnas and your Humanas, all your insurance companies. There's a group of 5 of us that subcontract with them to do audits looking for fraud and abuse claims. So they've already identified something looks fishy. Mm-hmm. And they need somebody to go in and look at the claim. So that's where I see. Not just the initial coding stuff, but it's going back and seeing, is the documentation there to back up what's been done? So that's what gives me the real insight to help individuals on the medical bill rescue side. I can see what's going wrong out there, so it helps me to know exactly what to pinpoint when I'm looking for something, to see if you've been overbilled or if you've just been billed for something that got accidentally billed wrong. I mean, because coding and billing is hard today. It's very complicated, and each insurance company has their own rules and regulations. So keeping up with it all, if your providers and your hospitals can't keep up with it all, mistakes are going to happen.
No kidding.
And hopefully they will work with the insurance company to figure it out, but some of them are so short-handed they will just put the bill over to the patient. And that's where I've come in a lot of times and helped different patients where, for example, one person was being billed for 30 units of insulin a day when she got 3.
And nobody would have looked at that, right?
No.
Nobody, and she would have just had to pay it.
Well,
because we don't know.
Insurance would have paid it. The insurance
I see
was
what you're saying.
paying
Okay,
it.
the insurance was paying.
And she was just concerned because, of her co-insurance, her portion that she had to pay was so high. She's like, I just don't quite understand why this is so high. So there's a lot of errors, and what happened was they put 3.0, but the computer system didn't allow the decimal, so it moved to just 30.
Wow.
I mean, I see so
I bet
many
you have stories that are pretty...
Of all the cases we've looked at nationally, over 80% of the claims have had error rates. So...
Really? I actually had, it's not as exciting a story as it's not it's not that big a deal. But my husband had some surgery a number of years ago, and I'm an insurance agent for many years, and I just love to be able to refer people to somebody like Carol instead of trying to figure it out by myself. But it was obvious on a claim that we were, and I won't tell you the insurance company, but we were being billed for something that wasn't done. And I remember calling and being so angry at that. And I was an insurance agent, so I was able to see it. But I was like, how many bills do we pay? How much money are we paying, or insurance companies paying, that really shouldn't be paid, or shouldn't be billed, or shouldn't be whatever, In
2012, the federal government took back over $6 billion in overpayments in health care. That's just Medicare and Medicaid. So that's not even all of your other insurance companies. So it happens a lot.
I guess.
It's even happened to me. So, it happens to everyone. So, it doesn't matter. It can happen to another doctor. It can happen to anybody. Because keep in mind, it's not always the medical doctor or the audiologist or something. They could have a clerk in the office. They could have who made a mistake. It could be the computer system that caused the error. So there's so many different places for things to go wrong. And that's where, and unfortunately, what all of the carriers have done, they've taken away your people looking at most claims up front before they pay them. If it doesn't hit an electronic error, which means something major was wrong, then it's going to go ahead and pay, and you're going to get hit with that portion of what you owe of that.
Wow.
And even if some things, but people don't understand about hospitals, because hospitals, if you're an inpatient, they pay based on a diagnosis. They know roughly how many days you're in the hospital, what kind of treatment you're going to get. But they keep up with every single service, line by line of everything they say they do. And anything they don't get paid at the end of the year is called a cost report. They send that to Medicare and they send that to the insurance so they can get paid more the next year. Well, think about that. If a lot of that is errors, that's one reason our premiums go up every year. It's
more time, more money, less headaches, one phone call, unsurpassed service with near perfect recall, client appreciation that's honest and true. These are the things I can offer to you, for your family, for your future, for your peace of mind. I'm the one that you call on when things all go.
We're just having a great time here at Radio Next. It's learning so much. Learning so much in here. I'm trying to record what I'm talking about. Carol is just on it. Carol Coots with Medical Bill Rescue. We are so happy to have both Carol Coots and Teresa Smith with Who's Your Hearer. She's still sticking around. She's listening. You must not have any hearing aid problems, right? Or hearing issues.
I have 2 ears, 1 mouth. There's a reason for that.
Okay. I think there's an insult coming there.
No, I'm supposed to listen.
I know, I'm just kidding. But we've been sitting here talking to Carol and talking about Renee Gates of Elite Coordinators is still in the house too. Carol's been sharing so much. And you know what? You're just you got so many things you can help. So we were talking about, I always get on the websites if you don't think you need a website, Carol's not saying that, I'm just saying in general, everybody needs a website, or they need something, because I went and looked at Carol's website, medicalbillrescue.com, and I found all kinds of cool stuff, but we were talking about one of the, you can obviously go there yourself, but it says homepage, how we can help, medical advocate, and request a rescue. And obviously, Jennifer to the rescue. I'm kind of like, that's awesome. So how do you rescue us, Carol? What do you do?
What I do is, what I need is a copy of your medical bills. And it needs to be an itemized bill, so you need to ask for that. An itemized bill is going to show each and every item code by code. So you have to specifically ask for that. For a hospital bill, tell them specifically you want it code by code, because otherwise they're going to dump everything in categories, say all drugs in one category. You want to know what they're billing individually. From that, if you do have insurance or Medicare, I do need a copy of that explanation, and I will sit down and with you and compare those and make sure that you're being billed correctly and make sure you are not going to pay more than you're supposed to pay.
Oh, wow.
And for that cost is?
It's only $25.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Because I do this for a living, this is what I can see it so quickly, and it's just in my heart. I don't like seeing people taken advantage of, and that's why I've worked with a lot of people who just, make it from month to month barely, and if they get hit with a high medical bill, bankruptcy in this country is mostly due to healthcare bills. And if that many is errors, that's what individuals really need to look at. Even bankruptcy attorneys, they need to look at really having somebody look at that stuff because there may be errors on it that they don't even owe.
So, if there's any bankruptcy attorneys out there, Carol is she'd be a good, well, and you know what, you were talking about $25, but the money that you could save somebody is unbelievable. And you will know in that first little visit whether it's something you can help with.
Typically, most bills I've looked at so far, I've saved them anywhere from $300 to $30,000. So it just depends on the service and what you had done. It's the one big thing I definitely want to share is if someone in your family, if you know they're going to die, do not sign saying you will personally allow certain procedures to happen, say at the hospital. You want to sign the patient's name because most of them now have combined the statement that whoever signs that is also financially responsible for the bill.
Oh, no.
So,
really?
Because they know if somebody dies that they have to go after the estate in court, in probate court. So getting a family member to sign it and sign their name, they've combined the statement, so now they can go after the family member. That's a very sneaky, most people, they're handing papers to you, sign this, and get it done. They're not stopping and reading it. So be careful with that. Yeah. And they do legally have to go after the bill in probate court. And if there is no estate, they have to legally write it off. And that is something they do not do.
So what they need to do is reach out to Carol, C-A-R-O-L, at medical, before you sign, if you could do that. You can't really do that, can you? Because that's something, you're usually not thinking clearly when you're sitting there and you're being asked to, but what a great golden nugget, I guess that's what Shelley Rice would say, great golden nugget to take away from.
I've just seen families devastated by the medical bills because they signed that and legally they didn't owe it.
Wow. We were talking about a lot of things on the break time, and medicalbillrescue.com is Carol, and your husband works with you as well, and his name's Norm, right?
Yes, and my husband and I work in another business we own called Practical Cost Reduction. The basic tagline is, we know where your sleeping dollars lie. So,
oh, wow.
So if you're already spending money, we show you ways you can cut those costs. And most of the time, you're not giving up much of anything, if anything at all. So, for example, really quick, the most expensive appliance in your house to run is a tank water heater. It typically costs you $500 a year. You can save up to $40 to $50 a year by putting a hot water heater blanket around it every year. So you're having one purchase at $25 to get the hot water heater blanket, and after that, you're automatically going to save $40 to $50 a year. Just on that one item, you're not going to miss it. So it's things like that. It's knowing where to look for the cost savings, where you can get free stuff. Actually still going on right now, the electric department has a program. They'll come out to your house and give you a free kit. I've gotten that by actually doing it online. I'm doing a test online. Free light bulbs. Free aerator kits that, they only cost $4 or $5, but still, I got it free. So they'll give you all different things that will help lower your cost. That's free. We show you all different aspects of when to spend, when not to spend, or at least if you do spend, make the choice that you know, I want to spend it on this item, this brand, this store. So you're making that conscious decision. So we can free up money so you can, whether pay down a bill, put it toward your retirement, have extra money to go on vacation every year.
I thought that was kind of cool when you said that. It's like some people say, oh no, put it back in, put it into an investment. No, go on a vacation if you got some. I think that's cool because you need to do those things, right?
Because your health will deteriorate if you don't take care of you.
So I mean, there's nothing wrong with
retirement if you don't.
Yeah, no kidding. You know,
don't
if
go
you
on vacation on credit either.
Right, that's right.
That was
because you're going to mostly spend it on credit cards.
Right.
And this would give you a way to do that. Or you've got a way to buy all your Christmas gifts at the end of the year free and clear.
Wow.
Well, I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. I refuse to pay that. I guess I'm a miser. I don't know, but frugal, that's what I am.
But you do use social media all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just think that's, that's a statement. I don't know if I don't sit in front of the television very much. So
Exactly, and that's why I don't need cable. My children, they don't miss it. They say, oh, my kids need this and Nickelodeon. No, they don't. They really won't miss. If you take it away after, they say 30 days of doing something, you just
help that price reduction.
Yeah.
Cost efficiency.
So you give people suggestions on that. And you and your husband wrote a book
called Stop Wasting Money, Your Common Sense Money Management Guide for Everyday Life. It's available on Amazon.com.
Stop wasting.
I want that one.
If you go into Stop Wasting Money, would you be able to find it? I don't use Amazon enough to know. Is that Stop Wasting? Okay, you're all laughing at me.
Or you can put in just my name of Carol Coots.
No, I never really met a woman like you before.
God gave the wise men their wisdom, and to the poet his...
We are starting to wind down here, and Carol, I think we're running out of time. I don't want you to lose. Carol Coots with Medical Bill Rescue is still here. Yes. You didn't leave yet. Thank you. And Renee, what are you doing over there?
Reading my book that
What
I
book
just
is
purchased. Stop Wasting Money.
And that was by who?
Carol Coots.
Yes, with Medical Bill Rescue.
Carol and Norm.
Actually, yes, her husband's name's on there
don't want
too.
to forget him.
And how'd that come to be again? The Stop Wasting Money and
Several years ago, my husband had been downsized at work, and it was right after I started my own business. So financially, that hit really hard, and it's like, if we can save companies millions of dollars, why can we not save money ourselves to make sure we don't lose our house, lose our cars? We actually even had health insurance, and this went on for 2 years. We were able to survive with just his unemployment, what he did have, and the amount of money that I make in my business.
wow.
So that book makes a difference in people's lives. I mean, no matter where you are in your finances, every person who's ever read it has always told me, I found at least one item in there that I just had no clue to look at.
And I'm thinking now Renee's going to come back every week with her little Carol Coots Medical Bill Rescue tidbit for the week. I'm sure it's wonderful. And I mean, I'm sitting here. There's only one book here, but you can get it on Amazon, right?
Yes.
And you can. Was there somewhere else? Oh, the library.
The library, the Indianapolis Public Libraries, has a copy of it. And it's also available online at Books A Million and Borders.com.
Wow, you've got a lot. So tell us, before we do run out of time, which we actually still have a few minutes, but tell us, How do you, I mean, now I've met you in some networking situations. What are good people for you to know? Good introductions to make for you? Or, yeah, I guess that's the question. Who can we help you meet? We want to definitely connect you with people we know who need help on the bills, but
even insurance agents, if you sell any type of health insurance, a lot of times later on, the people they sold the insurance to will come back and say, I need help with this bill. I don't understand.
I know.
They're going, that's not me. That's not something I can do. Or help with families if you are helping your parents. That's something that most people just get overwhelmed with. Like we said before, bankruptcy attorneys.
Yes.
Teachers. Churches. We're willing to go in and talk to employers, to talk to the employees. So, it's basically anyone out there, because everyone at some point in their life is either having to deal with a medical issue or deal with a financial issue. So, basically, that's something that can help.
You know what I was thinking? For weddings, what she would say about a wedding and wasting money.
I actually did most of my own wedding, all the stuff. So it's showing.
Oh my God!
But you know what? Let's just say though that I've worked with Renee long enough to know that she's probably really interested in what you're saying, because that's what she does.
Yes,
that's exactly. We're sitting here laughing like, why would we? But why wouldn't you want to know what you're telling us about weddings? Because that's a great thing for her to pass along to her clients. For weddings. So, oh my gosh, we have so many shows we could do after follow-up shows, and we've still got Teresa sitting here, Dr. Smith here talking, listening. It's just like, man, so many opportunities. And you both, Carol, you want to get in front of groups, church groups, and that's the same company, the same people that Teresa wants to get in
social
front of.
groups, any organization.
She wants to talk to Carol. That's good. Social organizations, you're saying?
Any organization, really. This is all information that people just need the knowledge of. So helping anyone, basically anyone you come in contact with, if they want to save money, that's something we can do. Or if they have the medical issues, that's something also. And if it's something I can't help with, I will help find somebody who can. So that's something people use me a lot of times as a contact. I don't know where to go with this. Like, my mom's going to go into a nursing home. I don't know where to start. Well, I know the person to send you to. So there's just a lot of different access to people that have the skills. If there's something I don't know, I can send you to somebody I do know that can help you.
Well, I'm just walking away from this every week saying, man, I know somebody who does that now. I know. Isn't it amazing?
Oh, my God.
Well, Carol's pretty awesome, too. The book is obviously pretty good.
Yes, absolutely.
She's already got half the book read. Oh, my goodness.
She's a speed reader.
I know, exactly.
Do you have it on a CD?
Not yet. We're working on making both the electronic version for the book readers and going to see about getting an audio version of it.
Wow. Awesome. Well, I am not a big reader. Unfortunately, I'm not. But I did just listened to a great book the other day and I felt so proud of myself because I'm just not a reader. And I was doing it while I was driving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Multitasking.
I do. Yeah, I'm a lot better than
talking on the phone.
I know.
I do not text when I am driving. I promise. Carol, would you? Okay, one more time. medicalbillrescue.com. And is your email, would it be?
It's the carol.pcr for Peter, Carol, Ralph for the practical cost reduction at comcast.net or on the medicalbillrescue.com. If you want to create a rescue, just connect that and cool. I will definitely get back in touch with you. My phone number is 317-450-7691.
Awesome. So So if they go to your websites, most people are going to have their contact information. So that's good. If you can find your way to medicalbillrescue.com, that will get you to there, and I'm sure you can actually put a contact request or like request a rescue, right?
Yes.
That's right.
And the other one is the practicalcostreduction.com.
Yes, practical cost reduction. Any thoughts, Renee?
I'm just in awe of this book. This was wonderful.
Yes.
Interesting businesses, how they came about, and their passion and niche is really.
I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to do we're going to have a meet the Jennifer to the Rescue guests so they can meet Renee and myself, but then get all these wonderful Dr. Smith and Carol, Teresa. And you can come out and you can meet these people that you've been hearing on these shows that have these and that's the whole point. We're trying to help get the word out, get the message out there. So even if you want to email me at info@jennifertotherescue.com, jennifertotherescue.com itself, you can actually ask me, hey, who was that audiologist that was on your show? Who is that medical bill lady? And I'll be able to get that to you too. Renee, any last thoughts as we're... We've got to sing our little song, though. And all of our guests get to sing it with us.
Yes. Oh. Teresa said, I'm not singing.
I know you're a good singer. I know you're all... Remember that old Carol Burnett song that goes, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and sing a song. Yeah, we're going to have to get those words next week. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. It's so long. Okay, next week we're going to have cheat sheets, so we're going to know exactly what the words are. We're having a great time today here on Radio Next, and the lyrics, yeah, that's it. And you're going to be entertained here very soon.